Hi everyone, so my name is Brady and I haven't made a video on this channel in a little while. I plan on making a video where I'm just going to kind of catch up and talk about my life and everything. But I wanted to make this quick video just to talk about something that I actually had on my mind and something that I kind of is more of a response to what people say a lot to me. So or not say a lot to me, but just I hear a lot, and that is people stressing out about internships and trying to get internships while they're in college, and one of them in particular being kind of like, how on earth can you get an internship, especially if you're only like a freshman or sophomore. I guess a little context, I am a sophomore, so it's as we kind of targeting people who are trying to get an internship for this upcoming summer, especially if you are in the boat in which you don't really have previous experience to help you necessarily like 100% get the internship, where, you know, it's not like you maybe had like this crazy awesome internship you got after freshman year that just helped you so much. You know, there's some people who like are in that boat, and it's all about the little things that are going to put you ahead of everyone else. But the one thing that I think is the most important, and once again, I'm not qualified. I'm never, you know, I'm not the one who's answering these applications by any means, but I will say that one thing that I think definitely will help you is writing good essays. So a lot of times the internships, wherever you're applying to, are going to have you write an essay and submit like a resume or something along those lines. And that's the same thing for study abroad applications, the same thing for even just college admissions applications if you're still in high school. All of these things, it's just all about the essay. Like how can you write an essay and write a lot without writing physically that much? And how can you jam-pack material that's going to make you sound like an attractive person to approve or accept or whatever without writing pages and pages and whatever. So this is just kind of a few tips, and I'm going to use an example actually to explain myself with this one. But so I'm actually writing an essay currently for the FBU, or Facebook University is what it's called. It's kind of like Facebook's internships for college students. Facebook University, and the one I'm looking at is the one for analytics, so this would be for data science students. I'm a computer science student, and I'm allowed to apply. So anyways, I was looking at this question that just kind of made me think, oh my gosh, like, this is such a question I could see people answering in a way that would not be as competitive, I suppose. So I guess the first thing that's important when you're writing an essay for any kind of admissions thing is making sure, and I know you think you do this, but this is really important, make sure you fully understand the question and what is being asked of you. Now, as I said, it's very quick and very easy to be like, okay, well obviously it's like it's a 2-sentence prompt. I totally know what it's asking me. But the thing is that there's always these little hidden nuances in the prompt that are subliminal, but if you actually acknowledge all of them, your essay will be exactly what they're looking for, almost like foolproof. So here I'm going to use the example from the essay that is for this year's Facebook University for Analytics application. So I'm just going to read it out loud. The prompt is: data has become cheaper to generate and store and is increasingly more accessible. Describe an area where you think data will change the world in the next 5 years. So if you wanted to answer this question satisfactory and answer the question completely, then you would just kind of say where an area in which you think data is going to change the world in the upcoming future. You know, where is innovation going to be happening, whatever. But I will say there's these little nuances in the question, one being something, and there are things that are really easy to look over, one of them being, describe an area where you think data will change the world in the next 5 years. So explain in your answer not only something in a way that data is going to change the world, but how is it going to do it in the next 5 years, so in the very immediate future. I would even acknowledge the 5-year thing in your essay to make it clear that you are answering the question completely, and it just kind of like, the people who wrote this, and the people who like wrote this prompt, the people who are going to be looking at your essays. So, you know, there's these little nuances that, like, even if they're not noticing they're putting them into the question, like, then you will be answering it exactly how they want it answered. Another really easy part of this prompt to look over is the first sentence, because a lot of times the prompts have context at the beginning, in which case, in this prompt, it says, data has become cheaper to generate and store and is increasingly more accessible. I think it's really easy to just like go past that sentence and answer the prompt, but that means that when you're talking about your data, way that the data is going to change the world in the next 5 years, and how is this a result of data being cheaper to generate and store, and a result of it being increasingly more accessible. So and this is hard to do if the prompt is like a paragraph long, but I think it also kind of gives you material to write about, because then it's almost like they're giving you the structure of what to write. So I know when I answer this question, which I have not done yet, I will definitely be trying to answer all of that in the prompt. So I think another important thing is you did take English class for however long into this life, or in your lifetime, for a reason. So you know grammar, and I'm assuming by now, if you are someone looking at college admissions or looking at internships, that you probably know how to write an essay, in terms of like sentence structure, different types of clauses and stuff like that. But I definitely think one thing that will put you ahead of other people is by varying up your sentence structure and making it just more interesting to read. I think if a very common sentence that people are going to say is a dependent clause and then an independent clause, which would be like, while I think this, blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of like doing an incomplete statement, comma, a complete statement. And I notice in my papers, I sometimes do that like every sentence because I think I'm being like complex, but it becomes actually very simple because you're doing the same structure over and over again. It's the same thing as having short sentences over and over again. So that's like the one grammatical thing I would pay attention to, is varying your sentence structure and making it seem like it makes you sound like a better writer, even if you are not the best writer. And then I think I also would say another, last important thing from a grammar standpoint is remember learning dead words when you were younger, which are words that are very overused and you should be looking up synonyms for. I'm not telling you to be glued to your thesaurus to a point where they know that you're using a thesaurus or know you're just trying to sound smart, but definitely make it clear that you know more adjectives than good and happy or something along those lines, something more complex and more educated. So I think those couple tips I just gave, they're not big things, but they're things that will make you stand out, because I feel like most essays that I've read from my friends who want to compare essays, they don't do that. They don't compare, or they don't worry about sentence structure, and they don't analyze the prompt as closely. I mean, a 2-sentence prompt that I just read to you, I found 5 different things without even having to come up with my idea that I know I'm going to have to acknowledge in my paper. And yeah, I also would say that in terms of length, if they don't give you a length, I've noticed, and this is from advice from advisors and also just in past experiences which people have responded positively to my essays or whatever, that you will get the best, point across if it's a question that can be answered in 1 paragraph. Make sure you have an intro and a conclusion, which is pretty easy to write because it's kind of what you're talking about. The introduction, I feel like it kind of puts everything into the context of so why are you writing it? Who is going to be reading it, and why is this important to read? Why should I continue reading? Don't make it like you're answering those questions in a row, but make it, pretty intuitive. And then I personally sometimes write the conclusion before I even write my body paragraph, so I kind of can organize everything I want to acknowledge in my body paragraph. And yeah, so those are just a couple tips. Once again, I'm no expert, but those are just things that have worked well in my past, and I hope can help you all out in the future. So thank you for watching. This is the most cliche college dorm room you've probably ever seen in your entire life. There's a Mark Twain quote right there, and there's this wave poster here. I just got back from break a couple hours ago, so I'm about to get some dinner, and I'm just enjoying I'm now a second semester sophomore, which is kind of crazy. Classes start tomorrow, so anyways, thank you for watching and have a great day.